Yo, what is up, everybody? Yo, we are here to go over some Black Friday deals for those of you who are trying to level up your game when it comes to content creation, or maybe you're just trying to get into the game and trying to figure out what kind of camera, what kind of microphone, what kind of things you need to create great content. That's why we are here today. So today, man, we are going to jump right into it. We're going to jump right into it because we got a lot of ground to cover, like a whole bunch of ground to cover, because there are a lot of great things happening, a lot of great deals going on. So just a disclaimer for this video. Now, everything on this video, every item on this video is not a Black Friday sale yet. It's possible that some of these things may go on sale next week when Black Friday hits. It may not. And maybe it'll wait until Cyber Monday. But either way it go, all of these products are great to have. And if you have the budget, I say get as many of them as you can. Of course, be wise, be smart. You don't want to be spending up all your money on stuff that you don't use. So make sure you get gadgets, make sure you learn how to use them and all that kind of great stuff. So that's just a little disclaimer for the video today. Also, we are having, we're going to be looking at a lot of things on Amazon. Amazon is where we're going to be looking, but there are a couple of sites that you want to look at. I mean, a couple of things you need to think about as you're looking on Amazon is that you have your full price of the actual new products, and then you'll have a used price or something like that with the condition on the side for Amazon. But it's up to you what you want to do. This is just something that I wanted you to be aware of, that, you know, you might look at the main price and be like, bro, that's too much. But hey, when you see those used prices, then you might be like, okay, cool. We might can make that happen. We might can make that work. All right. So let's jump right into it. First, we're going to talk about cameras, because if you are trying to create content, the best way to create content is through video. That's what I would just say, especially if you're trying to post stuff on YouTube. You just can't post a video without making a video. And so one of the best ways to do it is with a camera. Now, these first three cameras that we're going to be talking about, we talked about on this channel before. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. First off, we have our Sony ZV-1F. Now, this isn't necessarily my favorite camera. As you can see right here, this one is well loved and well used. I actually bought it used and it still works, even though it has this here tape on it right here. But this camera is the cheapest Sony camera that you will be able to purchase. That's like this kind of point and shoot type of camera. Now, this camera is great for vlogging. It has a wide lens. This lens is a fixed lens right here, so that means it's not coming off. It's fixed. It's fixed. It's on there, and so it's not going to go anywhere. But this camera is pretty good if you are just getting started. The price for it is right under $500 right now. Originally, it's almost $600. But with this one, man, you get 4K, unlimited recording, you get a wide lens, you get this flip out screen and all this kind of stuff if you want to vlog and all that kind of stuff. This is just a really great camera that you have right here if you don't have any other type of camera. And so I would say if you want to get started with this one, go ahead and get started with this one. So like I said before, this is not necessarily my favorite camera. It just has some issues with like zooming and other stuff like that. But I mean, I still use it. I use it for like behind the scenes type of shots when I'm in the studio. This is a 12 by 12 room. Put this bad boy in a corner, it'll catch the whole room and give us a good behind the scenes look. And so that's why I'm holding on to this thing and not getting rid of it or giving it away or something like that, because it is still a good option. The next option that we have is the Sony ZV-1. Now, the Sony ZV-1 is one that I like. I told you guys before in past videos, it's probably one of my favorite cameras that I have used, so much so that I bought two of them. Actually, this angle right here is the other Sony ZV-1 that we have on this shot. And so this one, again, it has a optical lens right here, so you can zoom in and zoom out. It's not fixed to just one length as far as the as far as the camera is concerned, as far as zooming in or whatever. But you also get this flip out screen just like the other one, and it's pretty cool. If you can see right there, I don't know if you can see yourself right there. There you go. All right, but it's pretty good camera. This one cool. This one is cool because it has what they call an ND filter. We talked about this before. It's a built-in basically sunglasses. So if you're using this one on the go when you're outside, you're vlogging and stuff like that, you won't get a wide angle like the Sony ZV-1F, but this bad boy right here has built-in sunglasses basically. So if the sun is shining and all this kind of stuff, you turn the ND filter on and you'll get some good footage. We talked about this before in the on the channel before, and so we'll have videos that probably pop up somewhere right here on that one or somewhere down below. So, but Sony ZV-1, right now it is right under 800 bucks. You can also get this one used, I believe. Let's see. Yep, right there. Oh man, that's $600 right there. That's better than the deal that they have going on. So if you can find one that's used, I would grab it. Both of the ones that I have are used, and I haven't had any issues with either one of them. I don't think, not any that stick out. I'm sure I've had issues with them. I had one of them for a very long time. But we see right here, man, that this is a great one to have. Now, a newer camera, as far as newer to me, is the Sony ZV-E10. Now, I've got this one recently, and I like it so far. I haven't had time to really just play around with it like I really want to, but this thing right here has a lens that comes off. And unlike the ZV-1 and the ZV-1F that have fixed lenses, this one, you can take these different lenses. This is the actual kit lens that comes with it right here. All right. But you can actually take different lenses, put them on here, and then be able to shoot all types of content because of the different types of lenses that you can buy. And it doesn't just have to be Sony lenses as well. It has Sigma lenses that you can buy for it. It has other types of lenses that you can buy for it. And apparently, I can't talk and put lenses on at the same time. So we're going to let this bad boy kind of set. There it is right there. All right. But the Sony ZV-E10, this bad boy right here is a good one. And like I said, this is newer to me. And I like it so far. I like it. All three of the cameras that we've talked about so far are really just point and shoot, kind of run and gun type of cameras. This one, not as much point and shoot as the other ones because of the option that you have with the lens. But this one is still pretty cool, still good for vlogging, still has the reverse kind of flip screen that you can use for vlogging and all the kind of stuff. That is pretty cool. And so right there, the price you see is right under $800, and it's not too much more expensive than the Sony ZV-1. Is this the Mark II? I don't think so. Yeah, it's Sony ZV-1, the first version of it. And so, yeah, just look at your pricing, figure out which one is best. I would most definitely go with this one if the prices are that close, because it has a little bit more versatility when it comes to the type of content you can create. All right, but next we're gonna step it up a little bit. Now, these are all the Sony cameras that I have had experiences with. I know that there are better ones and bigger ones and more expensive Sony cameras, but I simply want to talk about all of the products that I actually have used or that I actually have or have had. And so I'm not going to talk about the bigger, better Sony and cinema grade cameras that Sony has. Although, hey, maybe one day we'll have them here on the channel and we can talk about them then. But today we're not going to talk about them because I don't have them and I haven't used them before. But what I have used is not a Sony camera, but it's made by a company called Blackmagic Design, and it is the Pocket 4K. Now, this is a cinema grade camera that I use at my church. For those of you who don't know, I am a full-time youth pastor, and part of my responsibilities is to partner with some of my coworkers to create content for our church. And one thing that we invested in years ago are these bad boys right here. These are cinema grade cameras, shooting 4K, ProRes, and all that kind of fancy stuff with these things right here. And actually, I've purchased these because I use them for our our podcast studio that we own, my wife and I own. And so we actually have 3 of these that we use for recording content for all of our clients who are coming in. And so as you can see right here, I have one right here, and then we have this angle right here, and then this angle right here are all the Blackmagic Pocket 4K with a 30 millimeter Sigma lens on them. All of them have the same exact lens, they just put at different angles. I found this lens to be pretty good because it hides the background, it puts it up tight. And people who have seen content that we create here at the studio have said, man, I feel like, you know, I'm in the room and I'm up close and personal with the person. It's because the lens is up close and personal with the person. I've had wider lenses in here. I really don't like it for the space that we have. It just shows too much of the background and stuff like that. Good for background, I mean, back behind the scenes type stuff, but not necessarily for the content that I want to create. So we see right here, the camera body itself is about $1,200. Of course, you can find this used in different places. I think I bought, not I think, I know for sure, I bought all 3 of mine used for probably under 900, 800 bucks. So you can find them in different places all over the internet. But if you say, hey man, I want a new one, it's still an older camera, but it's an oldie but goodie. And so that is it right there. The Blackmagic Pocket 4K, and the lens that I showed you guys earlier is this one right here, is the Sigma 30 millimeter lens. It's about $350, and it's a great lens. I love it. Like I said, we use it here in the studio, and we actually use it at my church as well. And so, man, these are great lenses to start out with. I personally am not like an expert on lenses yet. I am learning about the millimeters and all that kind of stuff and what all that means. And so you do have the option to get other lenses for this camera that could look possibly better than the Sigma lens. Sigma is a good brand to start out with. And, you know, you can get different focal lengths and all that kind of stuff. And all that. I think that's what they call it. Focal lengths. Is it? Okay. Anyway. All right. So we see right here is, that's a good one right there. Next, let's talk about microphones. Let's talk about microphones. And here's the thing about microphones. You have your audio, right? Then you have your video, and now you have your audio. You know, I don't know if you ever watched a video before it had bad audio, but good high quality, maybe like video. We need some good microphones. So one good microphone that I have, if you're starting out and you want to make a podcast, is this pod mic right here. I actually have one on the arm right here. It's not connected to anything, but this is the pod mic that we use for all of our content that we create in our studio. I don't know if you'll be able to see it right there. And so we use this for all of our clients. We don't have enough of these microphones right here, the SM7Bs. One day, of course, we will upgrade all of our microphones to this, but this thing costs $500. I bought this one used I bought this on eBay. And so the price was way cheaper than that. But for now, we have these bad boys right here, and they work wonderfully for our client work that we have. And so pod mic, great microphone to have right there. You can check it out, about $96. Also find these used for almost 80 bucks right there. All right, cool. Next, let's go through this thing. Next, we have the Samsung Q-U2. Now, here's the thing about this thing, man. This thing used to be a go-to recommendation for me because it used to only cost like 60 bucks. And I guess since it's gotten so popular, or maybe I caught it on sale and it was just on sale for a long time or whatever, this thing has went up to $100. But here's the thing. It's still a great deal because you get this microphone. It's great for podcasts. It's great for creating content. Not only is it a USB microphone, it's also an XLR microphone. So you could use it for both ways and you're going to get great quality no matter what. And then, of course, you get all this stuff with it. You get a mic stand, you get an extender, you get a wind muff, you get the USB cords, and you get the cable, the audio cables as well. This is a great one to have. Actually, we talked about this microphone and the last microphone a couple of times in a couple of older videos. So go ahead and scroll down the channel and see, and maybe I can just leave some links to those videos as well. And by the way, just a side note, Any of the products that we're talking about today, they are literally listed down below. I did my best to put them all in order and to have them lined out in the order that we talked about them. And there may be a couple of extra products down there that we didn't necessarily talk about, but man, everything you need is down below in the comments. All right, so that's a great one right there. Another one that I used to use, I don't use it as much, is the Rode NT USB Mini. Now this one is pretty good. I like this one like on my desk. I used to have this on my desk at my little setup at home and just kind of use it for, Zoom calls, to have high quality Zoom calls, stuff like that. But it kind of got stuck at the studio. I actually might take this home and just use it for that, what I used to use it for. But this thing right here is about a little bit over $100. And this is a great podcasting, streaming, gaming, and what all it says right there type of microphone. All these microphones serve basically the same purpose, and so you can not go wrong with any of these types of microphones. So those are the first type of microphones we talk about. Now let's talk about wireless microphones. Now these are the kind of microphones that can give you a little bit more freedom. When you have the podcast microphone, you're stuck here at the desk or you're stuck at a chair and you have to be like this when you're talking so it can sound good. But when you have wireless microphones like these bad boys right here, it gives you a little bit more freedom to walk around, to do content outside, and to give your hands a little bit more freedom to move around if you're a hand talker, right? And so you got these things right here. You have the receiver, you have the transmitter right here, and then you have the receiver. They both actually have microphones on them, but one of them, I think the receiver is what you put on the camera, and the other one is what you put that you actually use as a microphone. I always get them mixed up. I feel like I get them mixed up all the time. But if you purchase it, it tells you which one to put it on. But they're pretty cool, and it gives you a little bit more freedom. I like these because they have a good quality. And now these are the cheaper line of microphones that Rode makes, wireless microphones they make. I think they make the Pros and the Pro 2s, stuff like that. And this is just the wireless Mini. It's kind of like an entry-level microphone that I think is amazing for content creators who are just trying to do stuff with wireless microphones. And so you see right here, these things range anywhere between $140 to $200 depending on what packages you buy. Let's see if they have them used. Yep, they got them used down here. Get some great deals that way as well. I really like these. I bought them and kind of just used them, just like, oh man, it's pretty cool, I got it. But I find myself using these more lately. And another thing that's pretty cool that you can buy for these, it's like a wireless case. Now they come with wireless cases if you get like the more expensive ones, but this brand right here, I don't know if I have this link down below, but I'll make sure it's there. It actually charges it and keeps all the stuff in there, but this bad boy is chunky. So it depends on what you want. You'll have to figure that out on your way. But this thing right here is pretty cool. It's like charger case, has a built-in battery. It charges the microphones. That's the biggest problem I have with these, is that they didn't come with the case like the Pro versions do, but they're still great quality. Another microphone set, wireless microphone set that I really like is the DJI Mic 1. Now, here's the thing. We're talking about a lot of quote unquote old tech. Most of this stuff was made back in 2020, before, and in like tech years, this stuff is ancient. But here's the thing. I still use all of this stuff and it works great. It works wonderfully. If you go back and watch all of my videos, this channel has only been popping like it's been popping for the last year or so. And all of the stuff that we use is older tech. It's cheaper, it's still high quality, and you still get to create great content. So DJI Mic 1, I think they're like on DJI Mic 3 or 4 or something right now. But these bad boys right here are just simple, straight to the point. It comes with 2 in the container in its own charging case. It has the receiver right there, and then it has the transmitters and stuff, the microphones right there. It comes into the case. You get USB-C, you get the lightning if you still got an old iPhone, and man, this thing works wonderfully. I actually use this, and I told you guys this is a story before. I actually use these with a friend of mine who owns who's part of like a production company in town. And so, man, they had a big project going on. He was like, "Yo, can I borrow your microphones?" And I was like, "Psh, yeah." And so I felt like a boss going up there because they like literally shoot commercials for like car dealerships and have like cinema grade cameras, and they just needed simple microphones just to connect the audio. So that goes to show you that this thing can go a long way in creating great content for a long time. Like I said, this is version number one. Version number one. So if you can afford to get any of the newer versions, I would get those too because they are even better. Oh, one thing I did want to mention about these that's pretty cool is that you can actually record straight into the microphone. Each microphone has its own built-in like flash drive or hard drive or whatever. And all you have to do is press that record button right there. And boom, it records it not just to the camera, but directly to the device. And you just plug this device in and then you get your audio. So it's great for like backup audio if you're going to put it in podcast. One thing I like to do, since it has magnets, I'll clink it on the side of my microphone like this, and I'll have it right here recording internally, just in case something happens with the audio that we have with the microphones or the receivers or something like that, or maybe there's some, some kind of disturbance or whatever. So yeah, this thing is pretty cool. This is probably my favorite tool that I have as far as creating content right here. It's small box. I can fit in my backpack. Don't like put stuff in my pocket, but I could. If you got a purse, you put it in there, whip it out, press record, and just record your content. Man, it's perfect. All right, so let's look at other microphones we have right here. And these microphones compared to the Rode Wireless Me's, I like the quality of this one better, right? And these are newer than these, and so I'm sure that's why it sounds a little bit better, but I like the convenience and the versatility of these bad boys right here. And I'm sure if you buy the newer version of any of this stuff, all of it will have amazing, amazing features. So, all right, let's see what else we got. Next we have, now here's the thing, this microphone, like I said, I'm only going to talk about stuff that I actually own. I'm not going to talk about theoretical things. All right. But this is a shotgun microphone that is perfect for putting on top of your cameras when you're doing things like vlogging. So let's get our ZV1F right here. You screw this bad boy on top. And of course, you would plug in the right, cords to the jacks that are on the side right here. And then you can use this bad boy right here. You can have great audio, especially when you have it that close to your face. Man, this thing sounds amazing. And with it only being like $23, this Comica, I believe that's how you pronounce it, brand of microphones are pretty good. They actually have newer versions that record internally and that have like built-in AI and all this kind of stuff. And so the company itself, I would stand by it. I would trust it as far as getting something like that. Also, another type of microphone, like I said, this is a shotgun microphone. Another one that I would suggest are any Rode microphones. Any Rode shotgun microphones like that, they're all great. Rode just makes good stuff. They just do. I'm just hands down. And so we see that right there. Let's look at the next product right there. All right, cool. So now let's talk about lighting. But before we dive into lighting, here's what I want to offer to you. Now, this channel is all about helping creators make great content. And as a beginning creator yourself, you may be looking at all this stuff that we're talking about on here, and you're like, well, James, I don't really know how to use all this stuff. Well, we got you covered. Here at Studio 88, we offer consulting and coaching virtually that can help you with your setup, that can help you with creating great content, and that can help you work out any kinks that you may run into when you're purchasing any of these products. So I just want to encourage you to check out the link below, and you can sign up or book a session with me, personally, and I can help walk you through getting maybe your podcast set up, maybe your YouTube channel set up, and whatever things set up so that you can create great content. So if you're interested in getting coaching and consulting with me, go ahead and click the link down below and get started today making great content and better content. Or maybe you just want to level up your content. You say, James, hey, I need a little bit of help, man. We got packages for all types of creators. So go ahead and check out the link down below and see if you can see if coaching and consulting is something that we can do to help you make even better content. All right, cool. Let's get back into this thing. All right, so here's the thing about it. You can have the best camera in the world. You can have the best audio in the world. But if your lighting is trash, it's not going to look good. I just want to show y'all something real quick. All right, I got all my lights on right here. I'm gonna just turn off one light, and I want you to see the difference between this one light and not one light. Just look at this. Look at that. One light done put us in the dark. We out here looking like we just ain't paid the bills. That's what we looking like right here. But if I turn the light back on, boom, it just makes a difference. And they have all types of lights around me that can do that. So you need good lighting. So one of the easiest ways to getting into your lighting and having some good control are these lights right here. Now, it was a brand that we used to use called Mount Dog, and these are very, very similar. I don't know if it's just a different brand or they got bought out, but these are the kind of soft box types of lights that you want. And we have videos, plenty of videos on this channel showing you exactly how to use these. If you're gonna get these, I would suggest go ahead, spend the extra money and get two of them. Get two of them because having one light is great. Having two lights is even better. And so they range for about $63, actually cheaper than they were when I bought them. When I bought them, they were not on sale. So it's about 80 bucks right there. I don't think you have these used. I don't think you really want these used because yeah, lights and stuff like that, cheaper lights like that can kind of get beat up a lot. I know mine are pretty rough right now. They still work. Actually, one of them is not working. But these things, man, I put them through and they last for a long time. So I would suggest looking into these lights. Very, very entry level. You can go back. Most of my first videos on this channel were done with these types of lights. So you can go and see the different quality between what we had then and what we had now. Now we have studio lights, so we'll talk about those here in a second. That a little bit more expensive, a little bit more versatility. But these things right here are great to work with. All right, next we have these LED lights by GVM. I like these too. A lot of these can be used to make some extra splashes of light on the background. You could use these as key lights to kind of light your face, but these types of lights are a little harsh when it comes to actually lighting a person or lighting actual products. And so I would most likely use the softbox is the ones the softbox lights for other type of actual content on people, and then maybe these lights right here for you know, background lighting and up lighting in the background and stuff like that, and maybe throwing a little splash of light, a color on a product or a person. But these are great lights, man. I used these for a long time before, not this exact model, but this brand in this layout right here. So it was pretty good. $175, $780, man. It's a great price for those. Do they have them used? No, they don't have them used. These are good ones to get as well. All right, another kind of light that I really enjoy are these lights right here. Now here's the thing. Recently I've purchased these cob lights, and these are more professional looking lights because you can actually add different type of soft boxes to them. Again, we have plenty of videos on this channel talking about how to use many of these products. And don't forget, all of the products are down below. So if you want to purchase any of them at any time, go ahead and click those links. But cob lights, man, these are kind of entry-level type lights that you can use in your studio, you can use at home. It gives you way more versatility. You can connect them to apps, and you can have different types of soft boxes. We talked about different types of soft boxes and the different types of effects that they make, depending on which ones you use. So go ahead and make sure you check out that video as well. But these are great lights to have. I would say grab as many as you can, about 2 or 3 of them if you got the moolah to make it work. And man, that'll be great. All right, and so with those, we're going to talk about these boxes right here, soft boxes. Now, there are different types of soft boxes that I use. Actually, the one I'm using now is more of a globe type of soft box. This one is good for like direct light. I have a podcast that we record here for one of our clients, and with the room being so small, I don't like for the light to just be blown around the whole entire room. I like for it to be kind of streamlined. And we see that these right here, they have this grid that directs the light in a straight path, so they're pretty cool as well. And then also I'll leave a link down below to the lantern type of soft boxes as well that are pretty good. And there are all types of different adjustments that you can, adapters or different types of soft boxes that you can use on those cob lights. But this is probably, I would say, would be the safest one to start out with if you are a beginner creator. If you have any more questions about other types of soft boxes, just leave comments down below and let me know what kind of soft boxes you have questions about. All right, and the next couple of lights, man, are ones that are kind of just fun. I actually have tube lights right here that are a little bit bigger than these. I think mine are about 3 feet. And I actually have one right here and one right here. And that purple lighting that you're seeing, it's just creating a little bit more excitement back there for us. These things are cool. You can use these like for products if you are trying to do like B-roll for your products. I've seen people use them like kind of like lightsabers, kind of make a reflecting effect on certain things that I think looks pretty cool. I haven't personally used those. I probably only had them for like a couple months, but I like them so far for what they're doing, creating this kind of back effect. So you can see purple right there. It's really just right there in front of it. And then for this one, it creates a little purple, little haze over there. So it's pretty cool. And so these things about 120 for these little ones right here. You can also find them at a GVM. I actually have affiliate links for them as well that I leave down below if you want to check those out. These are pretty cool. These are just fun lights, man. These are just adding extra creativity for what you're trying to do. All right, this one is a pretty good one too. I saw this one on TikTok Shop or for a long time before I purchased it. And actually, I literally have this one right above my head. And what it's doing is creating this like fake window type of look that you see right here, where it kind of looks like it's kind of making a window effect. I don't know if I can move it down a little bit more so you can see it a little bit more. There you go. All right, you see that? It's kind of making it look like the sun is shining through. There are no windows in this room. Not one. And so that's pretty cool. It adds like a little extra dimension to our shot right here. So, and this one is just a fun light. I really enjoy that one. And it comes with different like covers or different effect filters that you can just kind of make all types of patterns and stuff like that. And if you're into like cutting like vinyl or your own little, Cricut type of machine, you probably can make your own kind of shapes and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. I really like this thing, man. It's been fun to have around. All right, next we have stabilization. Now, here's the thing about it, y'all. You're gonna need a couple of tripods. I would encourage you, especially with it being this cheap. This is this brand. I don't know if it's the same brand that I have right here, but this is a design. I don't know if you ever noticed like how certain designs are made by multiple companies, but this is made by Geekito or something like that. And then this one is a different brand, but it's literally the same thing. It's the same exact tripod, the same exact fixings, the same exact mechanisms, and all this kind of stuff. And this thing is only $42 on Amazon right now. So I would grab a couple of these, especially if you have a podcast that you're doing multiple angles with, like us right here. You know, we got tripods all around this place. And one thing you don't want to do, especially if you're spending money on an expensive camera, is to just have your camera sitting on top of some books or like trying to hang it from like a ceiling fan or something crazy like that. You need some stabilization. You need to have something that is good. So this tripod, man, is amazing. I really like it. It's really versatile. It has a lot of like the ball head movement and stuff like that. It's very similar to what I have right here. And it's just cool. You can have heavier lenses, heavier cameras, all that kind of stuff. So I would go most definitely invest in a good tripod like this one. All right, more stabilization options is this Gorilla Pod right here. Now, this one right here that I have, I don't know if it comes with this cell phone mount right here, but this thing is pretty cool because you just take it and you just pop it off right there. And this is what you're left with right here. And then you could also take this adapter, screw it off, and put it on your camera. And that way you have not only your camera, you got your microphone, you got all your stuff going, and you just getting your vlog thing going on. I had this out actually a couple years ago. I had this thing for a minute. I had this thing. We were on family vacation. We were out there just having fun, and I had this at the place that we were. I was kind of just hanging out. I wasn't even recording at the time. And like a little kid, like a little 10-year-old comes to me, he's like, "Yo, bro, are you a YouTuber?" And I was like, "Yes, yes, I am." Had my microphone on there. And I mean, yeah, I was on YouTube. I just don't have like 1 million subscribers yet. So if you're watching this and you want to be part of day ones, go ahead and subscribe and do all that kind of stuff. But this one is a good one. It comes with different types of different ones, different strengths and flexibilities and stuff. I think they're all kind of flexible the same, but I think some of them are bigger depending on what type of camera you are trying to try to put on it right there. So this one is really good to have Gorilla Pod. The thing I like about this one is you can like wrap it around. Yeah, there you go. You can wrap it around like trees and all this kind of stuff. I remember one time I was on a mission trip to Guatemala, and we had to record some content to send back to our church. And I think I grabbed a ladder and wrapped it around the ladder, and it was like perfect for the content we were trying to shoot. All right, so let's keep it rolling. Let's see right here. All right, this one is a pretty cool one right here. This is specifically for Sony cameras. I don't think it can connect to other cameras, but this one is pretty cool grip that you have because it connects to the Sony cameras wirelessly. So you get it right here, you just connect it to the camera, and then you're able to use it just like the Gorilla Pod thing, except for you don't have as much versatility. You just connect it, and it's pretty cool because it becomes a grip for your camera. So you got it right there. You just go around and you have it, and you just, instead of trying to reach up and go and press the button and all this kind of stuff, you just have all your controls right there. Have all your controls right there. And so I've connected this to most of my Sony cameras and used it before, and it's been working great so far. Has a little kickstand. You can kind of put it up if you want to set it up in other places. It's just good, man. It's just a good one to have, a good grip to have for your Sony cameras right there. $82 right there. Let's see if they got it used anywhere. Nope, not yet. And this one is not on sale, but I'm telling you, if you could afford it, this is a good one to have, especially if you're a Sony user. All right, so let's talk about stabilization for your microphones. So for this whole time, man, we've been using this one right here, the Elgato Wave LP low profile arm. I like this one because, as you can see, you can't see it right now. You can see the microphone because it's pushed up right here, but the actual arm is just right here. I don't even think you could see it in any of the angles that I have. Not none of them. All right. And so anyway, so this one is pretty cool because it makes it kind of like not as just, you know, in your face, like this one right here. This is one we'll talk about next. This is one that's just there. You're just like, yo, I'm doing a podcast. Look at me. All right, there you go. And you might like that look, but this one for me, it makes it a little bit easier for my flow. It's just not in my way. I like to talk with my hands type of thing. And it just looks good on my desk. Now, this arm right here, I use it for some of my clients because we have one client who really likes to sit at a table. Actually, we have two clients that like to sit at the table, and having this just not in the scene and not in the shot, man, it makes it looks pretty good. And then we have this one right here. This one is Rode's microphone right here, the Rode PSA 1. I like this one because the PSA 1 doesn't have all the branding. The PSA 2 is basically the same thing, but it has like this like fabric on it that really just has Rhodes stuff all over it. But this one, man, it works just as good, and you move it around, and this one kind of gives me a little bit more versatility. I use this for clients when we are like sitting on chairs, like we're sitting at a chair and more like a couch and kind of more relaxed. I just attach this to a table, and I'm able to bring it over like the arm of the couch or the chair, and actually just have it to where it's a little bit easier to work with. Unlike this one right here, it's better to use at a desk. This one is better to use, like I said, at kind of a more relaxed kind of living room type of feel right there. But it's still a good product to have. I mean, I literally have both of them, multiple of both, as we are doing client work here. All right, next thing we got up is just a couple more accessories right here. Before we jump into accessories, there's another thing that I want. Well, we'll jump into these. One thing that I like is for Sony cameras, especially the lower grade Sony cameras, is to have a fan that can keep them cool. For some of the lower grade cameras like the ZV-1 or maybe the ZV-1F and even the ZV-E10, there's always a possibility of them overheating. And when we first started our podcast studio, I tried to use the ZV-1s. I tried to use the ZV-E10s for long hours. I'm talking about hours of content creation with podcasts, just recording, and they just could not stand up to it. And so what I did is, to help a little bit, is get these fans that actually fit right into this little area right here. You see that? And they are wirelessly connected. Watch this thing pop out and show out. All right, it's dead. But it wirelessly connects to it, and it actually pushes air into the back of the camera and keeps the whole temperature of the camera down so it doesn't shut down. Because these cameras, they don't have built-in fans. And so they I mean, they'll shut down on you so they won't mess themselves up. But you have, other cameras like the Blackmagic Pocket 4K that have built-in cameras, and other Sony cinema grade cameras that actually already have built-in stuff, that built-in fans that don't, cause it to shut down and stuff like that. But these right here, man, these are just good accessories to have. Another accessory I like to have is I really just like to have these because they create a little bit more versatility. These are ball head mounts for like tripods and camera. Now, the tripod that I showed you earlier already has this built in, but this gives me a little bit more versatility because I have a lot of like light stands or different things that I kind of use as tripods at times, because this right here creates a little bit more versatility of being able to move the camera around and how you want it and stuff like that. So just kind of like a little peripheral thing to just have just there. It may not be necessary. All right, another thing that I really like, I recently started to purchase these, but all of that I have, let me see. All of these are good because these are portable SSD drives. Now these things are amazing. Now this is a whole terabyte of storage in this bad boy right here. Look at that. I'm talking about hours and hours and hours of content on all of these. Now, I have 3 of these right now for our business because we record a bunch of content. Most of the clients that we have, they'll come in and they'll do a 30-minute show. Some of them do 45-minute show. And sometimes the conversation gets so good that they will be here for an hour and some change just recording content. And even if they aren't recording long episodes, we have some clients that record multiple episodes in one day. And so they'll have an hour, maybe even 2 hours worth of content. And this thing, man, I'm talking about, it eats it up. I'm talking about, I never, ever have to worry about not having enough space with having multiple of these. Now, rookie mistake that I did make when we first started making content is I only bought one. And so as we were doing a lot of content, man, I did have the mistake of actually running out of space. But now I got 3 of these, and I'm not gonna let that happen again. And so this is pretty good because you're actually able to record and save a lot of content on these things right here. One thing that's pretty cool about this camera, the Blackmagic Pocket 4K and other like cinema grade or a higher level cameras, is that you can attach this straight to the camera, and you're able to actually record everything that you can from that camera straight to these things. Then you just take this out, plug it into your computer. I like these. They're a little bit more reliable than like the small SSD flash, cards that you put into cameras. Some of the Sony cameras that we talked about early, they only take the smaller ones and aren't able to use these. But these things right here are good to have, especially if you're recording a bunch of content for different type of client work or different things like that. Or if you yourself are just a content creator who really, really likes to make content, this will give you the peace of mind that you need. All right, moving on down the road, some more accessories are this one right here, man. When it comes to starting your editing, I'm telling you, here's the thing. The Logitech MX series is amazing. Now, I've seen people use these over the years, and I always said to myself, bruh, you being extra. You don't need no microphone to look like a little alien like ship. You don't need none of that. I was a Magic Mouse dude. I'm talking about the Apple the one that looks like a little pill, the little white one. I would use the mess out of that, and I just love using it. And then one day, I made the mistake of buying this bad boy right here. And I tell you what, you could see that it's been used, looking all greasy and used. Look at that thing. Because I've been using this thing, and it creates a lot of versatility. You got like mappable buttons and different things that help you create shortcuts when it comes to editing. And I'm telling you, this is the older version, I believe maybe version 2. But this one right here, I just gave you the latest one right here because I figured it's just gonna be better than what we have. And so if you need a mic, need a mouse, this is one that you need to start out with. If you don't have one and you're creating content with your little mouse pad on your laptop, that's cool, that's wonderful. This one, man, I'm telling you, this with maybe like another display, like a display screen, I'm telling you, it will like 10x your work, 10x your speed, and get stuff done. The thing about it is you want to be productive when you're doing this kind of stuff. You don't want to be stuck too long. And so let's see, you got a 119, not too much cheaper for you. I would just buy the new one. And man, this is a good one to have right here. All right, let's see what we got next. All right, more accessories. Now here's the thing about these. I bought these, I believe, not used, but I bought these at a discount store, brand new, and I've been using the mess out of them. Now, I use these for a lot of the editing that I do at home. You see, I've been using them pretty good. This one's broke right here. Oh man, and I'm pretty sad about it because it's gonna be expensive to get it repaired. Might as well just buy a new pair. But for now, man, I like these, man. They have noise cancellation, the Beats Studio Pros, noise cancellation, transparency mode, and all that kind of stuff. These things are great. Not necessarily just the top of the line as far as editing is concerned, but I literally use them for editing. I use those. I use my Power Beats. I use AirPods. I use anything I can get up my hands to because I'm not doing any heavy type of like audio engineering or anything like that. So I don't need anything just too fancy. But as far as just being able to just chill and wear these, I love them. I love wearing them on an airplane when I'm traveling. I love using them for audio. This is just something that's not necessarily necessary, but I mean, let's look at the price. It's over half price off. And if you've been looking at trying to get them, just go ahead and get them. Just go grab you one. Just go grab you a couple, maybe. All right, so we see right there, that's what we have. Let's see what we got next. All right, cool. So this is a Focusrite Scarlett. Now, this is an interface that you need if you're using microphones like the SM7B or the Pod mic, because you won't be able to connect these directly to a computer unless you have a USB version. Now, all the microphones that I talk about today, most of them have some features that have a USB version, but these good microphones like this one right here and this one right here, they need an interface that you can plug into. And now this is kind of a cheaper, kind of not, I would say maybe entry level type of system, excuse me, that you could use that are pretty good, and you are able to plug this into your computer and then plug the microphone in it too, and you can get this high quality crispy. I used to use this all the time. I actually borrowed it for a long time before I bought my own. um, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It gives you some versatility depending on what you got, depending on which one you buy, depending on how many microphones that you can connect. But I'm just showing you the simple one. I'm assuming that most of you are solo creators. You're just trying to get your feet wet with making content. So that's what you have right there. All right, this thing is pretty cool. Let's see, they got it used as well. So go ahead and make sure you look into that. It's a great one to have. Now, another interface that I like that I would say is a lot better is the Rodecaster Duo. They actually have a Rodecaster, like a bigger version too, that has more inputs. But this one right here, man, if you're a solo creator, I think you get up to two, because it says Duo, two microphone inputs, four XLRs. And this is just a good one to have. We actually have the big one right here in the studio. I don't think the angle is there. And we use this. We have a client that has 6 guests. And so I'm able to use the Rodecaster Pro, the Rodecaster Video, and use all of those audio files, audio lines to create different podcasts like that one. But this one, man, if it's just you're trying to get started with it, I think this is better than the Scarlett, because this thing gives you a little bit more versatility. You're able to add sound effects and just have a little bit more fun if you're trying to create like a show, right? If you can show and it's just cool, man. There's so many different features, and they've basically perfected this thing. Rode has perfected this thing to help those of us who are creators. All right. Another one I would like to introduce to you, if you don't know, is the Rodecaster Video. Now, here's the thing about this thing, man. This thing used to be $1,400, and now it's under $1,000. And I think part of it is because it has a newer version that has come out. I think it's the Rodecaster Video S. But this one right here is one that we use for all of our production at the studio. All of the video, all of the stuff that we have, it comes through all of the camera angles that we have. All of that is going through, and I'm just literally over here now. I'm pushing buttons on the Rodecaster Video. This button is showing the screen. I'm able to connect my computer. I'm able to create scenes like this where I pop up in the corner right here, or if I pop up in the corner over like this. And there's so many more things that you could do with this that I haven't even discovered. I was working on it today, and I was like, I didn't even know it did that. Man, that's cool. And so this thing is pretty cool. And if you can afford it, with this price being like it is, and then having it used for $800, I spent too much money on mine. But y'all get some good deals right there, man. It's just pretty cool. All right, let's see what we got. Some more peripheral things, man. SD cards. There are a lot of different brands that you have. I would do more research on this. These are ones that I actually use that are pretty good. I got mine used, and so mine are not as nice as I want them to be. And so if I bought more, I would probably buy them full price. Just new. They really don't cost that much. I really don't know why I didn't buy them new in the first place. And so, man, these are good things to have. They're not on sale, but they're great to have for all the cameras that we talked about today. Another thing that I like is my Elgato prompter. I have it right here. I'm able to have outlines. I'm able to have scripts. I'm able to have like chats if I was doing that right there, all on this teleprompter right here. And it's pretty good to have. They actually have a newer version of this as well that's a little bit bigger. But this price right here, about $230, just a great one to have, man. It just creates a little bit more versatility, because you can use this as an extra display. And like if you're doing like Zoom calls, or if you're doing like a remote video podcast, you can actually have your guests on this screen right here, and you could be looking at it like I'm looking at it right now. You could be looking at your guests instead of looking like you're looking off, or like you're looking to the side. but you're sitting there and you're looking at them, but you're also looking at all the content that you're having on your screen. So this thing is pretty cool, man. I most definitely want to get the bigger one. So if you're interested in this, you want some videos on this, let me know down below. I haven't made a video on this thing. I've just been using it and it's just amazing. All right, right there, like I said, no used version of it. And then one last thing are computers. Now, here's the thing. I think I have a MacBook Pro. Let's see what version it is. I think it's the M3. Yeah, I have an M3 Max. M3 Max with 128 gigs of RAM and I think a 2 terabyte hard drive that I got a couple years ago, man. And this thing is amazing. So it works perfect. It works fine. It works great. But here's the thing, man. They have M5 chips now out in these bad boys. And I can only imagine how much better these are than what I have now. And what I have now is amazing. I've even heard that the M1s, certain levels of the M1 chip are still just as good as some of the other lower level of the newer chips. And so, man, just going through, do all your research. I don't really know like too much detail how to explain which one you need to get. So I would do more research, but any of these MacBook Pros, go with the Pro. I would go with if you can spend the extra amount on the Pro, man, do it. Especially if you're going to be doing video creation and content creation, you need a solid computer. I have had Macs for years now. I started college back in 2007. I think I had my first Mac maybe 2008. No, I started college in 2006. Lord Jesus. All right, but I got my first Mac around 2000 and 2008, and that thing lasted for a while. And I think I've only had maybe 3 other Macs since then. I was actually able to upgrade because my job helped me purchase some of the ones that I had. So this is pretty good, man. I'm just an Apple dude. I'm an Apple guy. I know that there may be PCs out there that are wonderful and that are great, and I'm just not willing to change. I'm just not willing to change because it just works for me. All right, but these are things that I use. There are some other things that I have out on the table that I don't really think are worth really just talking about. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about this now. I don't want you to get too caught up in trying to get all of this gear. Maybe get a couple of things that you know you need, maybe a good camera, maybe some good microphones, maybe some good lighting, and go from there. All this other stuff it ain't really necessary for you to start making great content. The name of the game is to get it done and to get it posted. All right. If you're sitting here trying to make everything look perfect, you're never going to post your stuff. So I would encourage you to continue to get better every single video, continue to upgrade. Go look at my old stuff. Go look at my old stuff, man. There was stuff that I just didn't know. I just didn't have. Just look at my old stuff versus some of the new stuff that we have. And we've progressed over the time, over the years of becoming better at creating great content. And so I would like to thank you again for hanging out with us, man. And one thing I do want to encourage you to do, again, if you would like more information on how to set this stuff up, we do offer coaching and consulting. So make sure that you click the link down below so that you can get access to me to help you one-on-one, get your setup how it needs to be so that you can create great content and start growing on YouTube. Thank you again for checking out this video right here. If you want more information about how to create better content, go ahead and click this video right here, and then we'll see you in the next one. Peace.